Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk about virtue signalers. The people who openly claim to support the current thing, whilst blatantly not caring or knowing anything about said current thing. And ironically enough, may or may not have also been against that said thing when it was politically convenient to be against said thing. In my opinion, nowhere is this better demonstrated than with the recent hot topic that is the Ukraine conflict. Companies such as YouTube went from censoring any and all references to the Holodomor to almost immediately pretending to support Ukraine in these trying times. And yes, for those who are not aware, that was indeed an actual thing. YouTube went from denying the worst genocide that has ever happened to the Ukrainian people to instead pretending to support said Ukrainian people, and also presumably pretending to be experts on the region's history. The said history that YouTube actively went out of its way to try to erase. That should probably set the tone that I'm not exactly a huge fan of virtue signalers, as I see them as inherently untrustworthy and vapid. These people see a war that is killing hundreds of thousands and a massive stalemate as one big massive soapbox to make themselves look and feel good, by putting a flag in their Twitter handle. To emphasize just how little many of these people actually care about Ukraine as a country, one need look no further than the recent Glory To Urine controversy, which apparently was caused by an AI deciding to autocorrect the Glory to Ukraine text because the Ukraine bit was over the yellow bit of the flag, and the AI thought it should mean urine instead. That's how little that company actually cares about Ukraine as a country, and it's also how little that company cares about the hundreds of thousands that have died as a result of this war. There was absolutely zero effort put into that virtue signal because the people who virtue signal simply do not care. Or rather, they only care about their own feelings and their own image, which is another way to say that people who virtue signal only care about themselves. Another example of this very situation playing out being from the school teacher known as Randy Weingarten, who decided to virtue signal last year by posing with this image showing her stand with Ukraine, by showing an image of the Ukrainian flag which was upside down. And unsurprisingly, she put so little effort into actually checking that she only realized it was upside down when people were actively criticizing her for it, and unsurprisingly, she deleted that tweet because her virtue signal, it turned out, was beginning to damage her oh so precious public image. Not content with just one faux pas in an attempt to virtue signal, she decided to follow up by also stating, quote, "We hashtag stand with Ukraine." So in other words, this public school teacher, who by the way isn't just a public school teacher, but also the president of the American Federation of Teachers, knows so little about the country of Ukraine that she couldn't be trusted to fly the flag right or spell the name of the nation properly. And she also cares so little that she couldn't be bothered to actually check before doing her little virtue signals. So why am I making this video? Am I doing it just to highlight and humiliate virtue signalers? Well, yes. Yes, I am. Of course, in my defense, I would argue that morally speaking, vapid virtue signalers absolutely do deserve to be humiliated, especially when they screw up. And given the lack of knowledge that these people often tend to have on the very subject matters they tend to espouse so much about, that happens more often than you might think. And to bring up the YouTube example yet again, keep in mind that more than a small number of people within that crowd were previously actively throwing the Ukrainian people under the bus and outright denying acts of genocide which historically happened to them. With that in mind, I trust you understand now why I don't exactly hold virtue signalers in particularly high regard, and why I am oh so willing to highlight whenever they inevitably screw up. Now, for those curious, links will of course be left in the description below so you can check them out for yourself if you should so desire. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.